Hello and welcome to another episode of Gamestyle Live. We are all still alive. We've not had zero views or had anyone email us to say get off the internet, which is always a good sign.
Get off the internet.
Apart from Johnny.
Yeah.
How's our kicking? I'm sure there's a better word for kicking.
I don't know, you're in control, I've got no idea.
Again, I'm joined by Steve.
Hello.
Who, again, contrary to popular belief, is a very happy chap.
I'm all smiles. Shut up.
And after his brief 5-minute appearance a couple of episodes ago, we've got Johnny back with working internet.
Evening.
So, we're going to go straight into it nicely tonight. We're not going to deviate, but I'm going to start with the what's happened to you guys this week. Anything you want to talk about gaming-wise?
I was in a car accident.
You are, eh?
Yeah, I was in a car accident.
A proper one?
Yeah, no, it was in a video. No, of course it wasn't in a video game. In an actual car accident. It's weird. Someone ran a red light and went into the side of me, which was fun.
Ouch.
When was that?
That was yesterday.
Oh, right. Oh, shit. I'm presuming you're alright, because you're here.
I've got no legs anymore.
Oh, right. That's a shame.
Yeah, kind of. It makes you a bit slower, but...
How bad's the car?
That's fine.
So they didn't really run a red light, they kind of shuffled out of a red light.
Look, I was in a car accident. What more do you want? You're going to sit there and go, oh, you've only a bit been run into by another car.
Given your history of car accidents, which nobody else has, party to, but take my word from it, Johnny's
making a
history
great
of car
story so
accidents.
far.
Oh well, as long as you're alright.
Yes, I sort of got run over once.
Sort of.
Yeah, the car was going about 10 miles an hour, and I landed on his windscreen. I was about 12 at the time.
So you say landed, it makes it sound like you were trying to powerbomb the car or something.
No, I was just running down the road, and then we've got a little alleyway bit where cars can go, parking behind the shops. And I've gone to run across the road as he's come out. I've caught him just at the moment, and I've tried to jump to avoid him, thinking, I'm clever and I'm American Cop Show type thing. I've jumped, he's caught me ankles, and I've just landed in his windscreen, and I've literally elbow dropped his windscreen. He wasn't very happy. He did not care about whether I was hurt or not. He was just pissed off at his windscreen, so I got up and ran.
Was that a common thing around your way? Just elbow dropping from the TM windscreens and cars, and generally assaulting vehicles.
I'm from Romford, so yeah.
Oh right, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I've not had anything interesting happen to me at all. It's been a very boring week, real life or gaming wise. So it's.
Someone run you over if you like.
No, it's all right because you'd probably not get here because somebody would crash into you or something. I don't know.
This is true. I am a walking, driving calamity.
Good word, calamity. Like it.
Well, you know what? I've not got up yet. I've not got my Q&A up. No one's asked us anything. Oh, hang on. Bloody hell. Someone said something. I don't know. One of you must know a Jonathan Thompson.
Oh yeah. That's we know Johnny. We know.
And again, I do want to say that if they don't want their real name out there, don't put it on the thing. I could just say their first name, but
yeah,
I've got their address and everything, so I can give that. He remembers Johnny writing off the Donkmobile years ago.
Yes.
And you blamed the bus driver.
Okay, so this was another thing. A bus came the wrong way down a one-way street and ran into me because the accelerator had got stuck on because the bus was faulty. And apparently that's my fault.
Is this not just a movie Speed?
It's
Was you sat in a cinema watching a movie?
No, we Speed sat in Walsall.
Was you on the news for it?
I might have been, yeah. I wasn't like on the telly, but the story that I was in, like, because someone got, it's all very funny because I got run into, but before I got run into, someone got flattened by this bus, so it was quite serious.
Right, so that's gone from being funny to quite Jesus. That's quite bad.
Well, that's what happens when you take the piss.
Yeah.
What, out of buses?
No, out of me, you fuckers.
I done that the other day. While the parents
ran over a pedestrian in a bus.
No, there's putting my foot in it earlier in the week. one of the guys at hockey turned up and he's wearing a suit and doesn't usually wear a suit, and he kind of had like a blue jumper type thing with a blue shirt underneath. So I made a comment going, you taking up being a security guard. Perfectly innocent, mocking him a little bit, as you do. He turned around and went, "No, I've been to my auntie's funeral."
Oh.
I was like, "I'm sorry." He went, "It's alright, I didn't really know her." He made me feel like absolute. Yeah, cheers for that.
So you bloody well should.
If you didn't know her, then who goes to a funeral dressed like a security guard?
Oh, God.
He doesn't actually watch this either, so he's not really into games. So I can mock him all I like. He's a nice guy though, just in case.
Well done.
He is really a nice guy. But anyway, games. We had a games show.
Yeah. Oh well, the only thing I finished Sunset Overdrive and moved on to GTA 5. Obviously, because that was the thing.
And the next gen version, haven't you? 'Cause was it out today?
Yesterday.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah. I I wasn't going to buy it because I've not long finished the 360 version. And it was great and everything. It was fine. I didn't really have any desire to play through it again. And then they went and showcased the first-person mode.
I thought you were going to say they showcased the additional dogs.
Yes, the dogs and the extra grass on the PS4 version. And I went, holy shit, I've got to own. Yep. I said, holy shit, I've got to own that. But no, the first-person mode is so bizarre. It's just... Because you think, it's first-person mode, it's not really going to add much, but it changes it entirely.
I was so ready to skip it. I really want to play Grand Theft Auto again just because of a few nice upres, and they continue to show bits, and it's not Grand Theft Auto 5, it's Grand Theft Auto 5.9. It is almost like a brand new game playing it in first person.
It is. It's really, really bizarre because it's fundamentally the same game. All the online mode content's in there and all that kind of stuff, but the just the way the really weird thing is because you're used to a first person mode that's really rigid, like in any shooter, and it's really rigid and you're kind of moving about on a skateboard with a bit of sway or whatever, you just don't feel it. Whereas because even though it's incredibly more technical than this, what they've done is put a camera in your character's head and that's it, from on a very fundamental level.
But can I just point out one thing with that? The camera is in the head. It's not stuck in their chest somewhere.
The guns are still weird because I had in one of the very first mission you've got a ski mask on and the gun's like there like that and you see it like that, so it's like really high.
Yeah, they can't hold a weapon properly, but the rest of it's high level camera.
Yeah, and it's like it says I was in Franklin's house and it says drink a beer and his head does that. It does all the animations that the standard model does, but from first person. I was playing online last night and I got run over and the camera just went because my body was flying. It was brilliant. It was absolutely fantastic.
Fuck's sake, Johnny.
Yeah, that didn't happen to me when I was in the car. And nothing went.
No.
But yeah, no, it's brilliant. Put it on last night, done the opening tutorial mission, got to Franklin's house to do the saving, and it's telling you about other things. And I walked past the mirror, and I've got so used to games forgetting to add all that little extra detail. Yeah. I walked past the mirror and saw it, I was like, wow. I spent ages looking in the mirror, and then I sort of saw their Instagram type app. And for the life of it, I can't remember if this was in the original game, in the original release. But I went, I'm going to have a look at that, and probably spent the next 40 minutes taking selfies in his bedroom in the mirror. It was brilliant.
The selfie thing was in that. It shouldn't. When you say it out loud, it shouldn't sound like it makes that much of a difference. But it does. It really does. And because it works really, really well, I guess. It's really well implemented. So.
See. What gets me, I'll give Johnny a bit of time in a minute I don't know if he's played it or not. But what really gets me is Grand Theft Auto almost does what I want future open world games to do. We've got all these problems with Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry looks like we'll do, where they've got this main story where it's just meh. No point, really. And they put an absolute crap ton of side missions on. What I would rather they did would be almost the way Grand Theft Auto does it, but do it as a model where, I tell you what, guys, here's San Andreas. We'll give you San Andreas. You can wander around, do as much as you like.
Yeah.
But every month or every week, we're going to send you missions. You can buy a season pass for the year that costs 40 quid or whatever it is, or you can pay £1.99 per weekly mission. That sort of thing. But let you have that open world to go and do with as you please while you wait for new missions. Don't worry about doing this overly elongated story to try and get the value out of it. But if it's an open world sandbox, let us use it as a sandbox.
I think that's what they tried to do with GTA 5 Online, but not to that extent. It hasn't really worked out like that. It's a bit weird.
See, but I don't want it for the online factor. For me, I'm not too bothered about the online factor. But if someone said to me, you know, here's Watch Dogs Chicago, here's San Andreas, here's, you know, ancient France. Like, ancient France is historical France.
Ancient France, medieval.
That's just an Asterix game, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, an open world Asterix game where you're running around lamping Romans. That'd be amazing.
Oh, Dynasty Warriors style. That'd be better.
I'd buy the shit out of that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. But generally, the open world, give you the open world as a sandbox, even if you charge a nominal fee for it. So if you charge, you know, £5 to £10 for the sandbox, you can go in, you've got this map to go and do as you please. There's vehicles, there's people, there's no missions. You just potter around. And then you pay for the missions. And it allows them time to go, right, so we know this is not going to work as a story, but this will work as a short. This will work as a good hour-long mission where you do this, you've got this, and we make use of it. It'd be great, and the fact that you could do that for anything, you know, Ubisoft could go, right, okay, here's the Watch Dogs world, which is a fantastically realised world. You know, the story was pap, but the side missions were great. And I believe the DLC for it, the actual add-on missions, are not too bad either. So it's stuff they could do, and it's give us an actual sandbox. That's what I really, really want to see, an actual sandbox game that is a sandbox.
Yeah, it's maybe well, you'd hope that's where they go. It's just they've got to kind of justify the expense up front, because obviously GTA, because the games make money back by being sold in. So if they're giving it away free, they have to kind of justify that expense, and that's why free-to-play games generally tend to be. I wanted to sell lower quality, but not as well. Not GTA 5, basically.
No, but it's because we're conditioned to this is free-to-play is a broken model because of how it's been handled so far. If they didn't call it free-to-play for a start, if they just called it episodic, that's what it is. A GTA TV series that you play. I'd lap that up.
Isn't that what they're trying to do with Quantum Break? I haven't been following Quantum Break, actually.
No, I'm interested.
That's the funny TV show affiliated thing, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a TV show, and then you you take control of the game where it's set in between the TV show episodes?
Like I just have this horrible feeling it's going to either be a huge letdown or an enormous disaster, and one of those is probably going to be much funnier than the other.
Only issue I've got with that is the same issue I've got with what's it called? That space Defiance, is it?
Defiance, yeah.
How does that work if I pick that game up in 3 years' time?
Well, I should imagine servers won't be online if you pick it up in 3 years' time.
No. But theoretically, if that runs alongside a TV show, which is all well and good, I like the concept, but what do I get out of it as a latecomer?
Nothing.
So what you've essentially got there is a game that if you're not there on day one, forget it. I don't see how that's going to help sales.
Yeah, pretty much.
But at the same time, is it going to end up being such a unique experience that, for obviously later on in its life cycle, it might not be worth as much? But is the experience going to be so unique because it's something that everyone experiences at the same time? You know, like you have TV shows, for instance, and everyone watches the latest episode, and then there's no more until the next one's out. So you have that kind of shared experience with people.
Which is great. I'm all for that. But my issue with this is it's a full price title that, as basically, if you miss it on day one, you have no value left in that game. Do you? Unless that game can be played properly standalone.
I don't know. As far as I'm aware, I don't know. I don't know how they're going about it. You see, I don't know enough about it because I'd presume that they were going to do the show, do the game, and then put the show up on Xbox Live, and you'd watch it on Xbox Live. So it's always going to be there. So you switch between the two. I don't think it's a case of playing the game and then having to watch Sky One or whatever, whatever they're going to put it on. So if it's part and parcel all together, then it's kind of if it's all part and parcel together, like on the disc or as part of downloads, that makes it kind of irrelevant because you might as well just play all the one thing in one sitting, and then you've got no, like Johnny says, you've got no around the water cooler chat with people because you're just going to cane through it. It's like putting the whole of Orange is the New Black up on Netflix because you can just sit through the entire series in 2 or 3 days. And then people are going, oh, where are you up to? And you go, I'm up to like episode 6. Well, oh, well, I can't talk about it because I'm only up to episode 3. So
yeah, I mean, we go like you use that as a great example. We go through spurts. We'll watch 3 or 4 maybe in a night because we boys gone down early. We've got nothing on, and we go, yeah, we'll watch 3, 4 episodes. But then we've had a 3-4 week break from it, between episodes 8 and 9. And we'll jump back into it again once we get an evening where we can sit down and watch it. And again, it's something you don't get with. This is why I think traditional TV is dead. It's very close to being dead because no one is really in a position where they're going to be. I'm going to be home at 9 o'clock every Wednesday to watch this program, mainly because they're going to be watching this show. See what I did there? Just see what I did there.
Ah, yeah.
That was brilliant.
Delusional. Like it, yeah. Like it.
But no, generally, that's not a thing that happens anymore. The more and more people I know discovering Netflix and the likes, it's HBO are moving out of normal TV. They're beginning to go, well, we'll just produce our own online content, stick it all on there, and Bob's your uncle.
Well, even then, over in the US, they have HBO Go, don't they? And I think that's their own subscription service, isn't it?
Yeah,
which is bonkers.
It's going to cost a fortune soon.
Well, it's just the thing is with HBO, that's why you don't get anything like that on Netflix because they've got a subscription service, but they've not expanded outside the US. So, you can't get Oz and you can't get Game of Thrones and stuff on Netflix because HBO. It's weird. They've got this weird thing of where they're kind of progressively moving forwards by having their own subscription channel. But they've kind of forgotten that you need to make that available to as many people as possible. So, and they just haven't. So.
It's the only reason some people, that'll do. Some people might go and acquire a TV program from certain areas on the internet.
Yes, that we do not condone.
No, of course not.
Acquiring episodic TV from various sources.
Not at all. Not at all. You should always wait for Sky One or whatever.
Yeah, you should wait and sit there for a week.
Yeah. But to do it, it's not because people want to pirate or they don't want it for free. People are happy to pay. Netflix has shown that. All people want is they want the convenience of going, I want to watch this when I want to watch it and be done with it.
You say that. My other half were watching Under the Dome on Amazon Video, Instant, whatever it's called. And there's both seasons. There's the first 2 seasons on there. The third one's due sometime soon. So she watched the first one. I went, it was great. I want to watch season 2. On Amazon Instant Video, you have to pay for the second season.
What?
Even though you're paying for the service in your Amazon Prime, which they've jacked up because they've rolled it in, if you want to watch the second season of Under the Dome, you have to pay by the episode or for the full season. Again, and
that's stupid though. I would then go and find other means just to spite them because that's stupid. The Netflix model's perfect. That is the perfect model, and I like the idea of it's with stuff. It's generally we have to wait until it comes out on DVD, and then we can put it on Netflix. I don't mind that.
No.
But then you look at what they've done with stuff like Breaking Bad. That final season of Breaking Bad was available worldwide on Netflix. They after it aired on TV.
But that's because no terrestrial TV picked it up, especially over here. I don't know about anywhere else, but no bugger picked it up otherwise.
No, but I remember seeing something about how many subscriptions that actually sold to Netflix, and it was obscene. You know, the amount of people that bought Netflix because they wanted to watch Breaking Bad the next day. The amount of subscriptions it sold because they bought the rights to Arrested Development and allowed that all on there. People just want to watch their stuff when they want to watch it. If we can get to a state where you've got something like Netflix or HBO Go or Amazon Prime or whatever, you know, different ones there are, they're fighting to basically go, look, here's your content day and date. People are going to be happy for that. They're not going to go. There's not going to be as much. I'm going to go to a news group and find it from there because they know they're going to get a decent quality. Happy to pay for it within reason. To pay for a second series of something that you've got as part of your subscription, but have to pay extra. That's bull. That really is bull.
It's garbage. It's absolute garbage. And so you know, it's kind of the same. It gets to be the same thing as like having Steam Origin and Uplay. You know, you end up with having to pay towards different services, and it's you know, it just ends up being fractured. And of course, having one service doesn't promote competition and blah 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 blah. But it's just, as a consumer, it's a pain in the balls.
I've got a quick question about Netflix.
Well,
why are we talking about Netflix and not about fucking video games?
I'm using the Microsoft 2010 to 2013 way of talking about games. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, it relates. We done it last week. We started talking about movies halfway through.
Yeah. So video games. Yeah, Johnny, how are you getting on with all that new current gen content that you haven't got?
I've got a question.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've got a question. It's from our boy John Thompson again.
Oh, all right.
I'll let John do this. I didn't realise he could see this. Go on, you can.
Yeah, no, we can all fit it because I was reading through one of the things and then you deleted it.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, I can't see any of the old ones now. The viewpoint on enormous day one patches.
Oh Jesus. Oh God. It's inevitable.
I don't have this problem because I'm a pleb and I still only have a PS3. So
you've only just got a PC that'll run more than Magic Online.
Well, that was the problem. It wouldn't run Magic Online anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry.
Have to get a new one.
My PC can't run a TCG. Day one patches are balls. It's inevitable and it's fucking rubbish because, I mean, what he's probably alluding to is the need to download practically the entire multiplayer content of the Master Chief Collection for Halo.
Yeah, that was an interesting one because obviously it works out in the end as about a 60 gigabyte complete game. But is it 60? I can't remember. It's bloody.
It's about that. It's 50-something gig. Yeah, it's a lot.
And the interesting question about it is why was it just not shipped on 2 discs?
They've actually they fucking span a load of bullshit about it. 343.
Wasn't it something about like not wanting to appear kind of some sort of weird format weakness or something like that?
Probably.
I know it's a weird one because like shipping on 2 discs, like especially really early in a generation, is a bit of a, I don't know, it's a bit ropey considering that each disc holds an enormous amount of data as it stands. But then
that doesn't bother me.
Sorry?
That doesn't bother me though. If it separates single player to multiplayer on 2 discs, then yeah, whatever.
Yeah, sure. I know that's what I mean though. But like, it might be viewed as something of a, you know, are we already outgrowing this generation of consoles?
Well, that's probably exactly it because you know the fucking. I can't find a nice adjective, but the people who.
Good job.
Yes. They you know they'll complain about anything. People on the internet will complain about anything, and it's it's got to fit on 2 Blu-rays. Great, you know. I mean, when I had fibre in my last house, that was fantastic because I downloaded it in a matter of minutes. Now we're on standard ADSL. You know, it takes forever. It takes a long time, and it's like it's not even a. If it was a couple of gig, yeah, that's fine. But 20, really?
Is the actual problem then not so much? Oh, we have to have a patch, or is it that the average consumer does not have the infrastructure available to download that patch in a timely manner?
I think it's 6.5, 1.5 a dozen other. Because, I mean, I take quite a pragmatic view on getting games out the door, because obviously you got the people that go in my day, checking the walking stick. We didn't have patches for games. You didn't need patches for games because games were simpler. That didn't mean to say they were easy or didn't mean any games that are being made. Obviously, it's just that now they're so complicated and there's so many people working on them. There's so many other things that can go wrong because you're making for consoles that have got such disparate architecture. Because you've got aside from EA and a couple of others, if you've got a Mega Drive, you've got almost an entirely exclusive set of games. Same with the Super Nintendo. Aside from some crossover, and even then, like things like Mortal Kombat were entirely different. But it's like, so you've got these consoles that are incredibly complicated, and so they are going to need, because if you put the time scale into it to make it as perfect and release in a perfect condition, you'd be waiting 5 or 6 years or something stupid like that. I don't know.
No, sure.
It's just,
but, like day one patches, though, still, like surely this should not be happening. Surely it should be released in a releasable state, even if it's later down the line. We have to dig some stuff up and patch it.
But that don't work for business.
Yeah, there's.
Why should I understand they have to get it out for investors and so on and so forth, but why can't it be released in a in a releasable state?
Well,
I can answer that in 3 words. The Last Guardian.
I thought you were going to say Duke Nukem Forever for a second.
It's not. Half-Life 3.
Yeah.
It's such an unfinished state. It doesn't exist.
But what's really interesting, the rest of Jonathan's question, is Ubisoft seem to be using it as a form of DRM. And this is quite possibly my favourite story of the week, and it almost makes me happy, a bit more sort of okay about Ubisoft, was that they left out the field of view slider on the PC version until a day one patch. And then everyone who complained about it, they knew what they get as a whole were pirates. It's brilliant. Yeah. I love it when companies do that sort of thing.
Yeah, because
it's okay to highlight TV shows, but not games.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
But yeah.
But no, the games in a perfect world, games would be released in the perfect state. They'd be released finished. You wouldn't need to download anything, and it would all be hunky dory, and we'd all live in a mansion in the country, and it'd shit gold from the sky. It's just, the thing is these games. What you've got to understand is that the Master Chief Collection has a poor excuse because 1, it's 20 gig and it's massive, and 2, it was still fucking broken. It didn't work. Which Assassin's Creed Unity is exactly the same. They released a broken game. That's unforgivable. But it's like, if it's a day one patch, the day one patch on Far Cry, which is like John's just said, is like a form of DRM, added the field of view slider. So it's such a complicated issue. It fucks me off because I don't want to have to wait another 4 hours to play a game that I've bought. The people that this is the thing that really wound me up. People that bought the Master Chief Collection digitally got to preload it entirely. They didn't have to download the 20 gig after they downloaded the previous bit. They got it all together. So if you bought a physical copy, you were, essentially being punished for not downloading the digital one and getting it all on Sunday night or whenever it came out.
That is a weird point about like patches in general. Why is patching so rigid? Why is the method of patching so rigid? Because if let's say I'm going to go to the shops and buy Master Chief Collection, why can't I set the patches downloading for the Master Chief Collection, go to the shops, buy it, and come home to all of the patches being already downloaded? I
wish I knew, because that's exactly what I would have done. Because I knew Master Chief Collection would come in, and I'd have set it going, and I'd have had it on Monday. Even if they did set it so you could download it on Monday. An option on the. I'm presuming it's because most of the time they don't know what the day one patch is going to be, so they can't upload it.
No, but
they've got an idea.
The day one, just going off the day one thing a little bit, you know that there is a patch, that the patch has been released. Why can't I just download it at any time that it is available?
You can do that on PC, can't you?
I don't know. I just play card games on my PC.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to play Hearthstone.
You should do. You should do, because it's great.
We shall talk about that off air. Just going back to the brilliant anti-piracy measures thing for a minute. You're talking about the field of view thing, which is incredible. I just looked up a couple of other ones. I'm guessing Steve has already, but have you heard of Earthbound?
Yeah, Earthbound. Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't watching. You were nodding. Yeah, so Earthbound. In Earthbound, if you were playing a pirated copy, it had random encounters like a Japanese RPG, and any main encounters were randomized. So you'd just be wandering around the overworld, and then you would get into a random battle. The random battles were ratcheted up quite a lot. So you would have to fight much more often.
That's brilliant.
And if you got to the end of the game, it froze just before you finished and deleted your save file.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which is
That's brilliant and evil at the same time.
What's perhaps more evil is Michael Jackson's The Experience DS.
Worked.
Nope, it plays Vuvuzelas over all of the music.
Oh, I've heard of that one, yes.
No, I'd not heard that. That's fantastic.
But problem is that improves the music.
That's awful. No, the whole patch thing, it's not going anywhere. It's only going to get worse. I mean, me and actually John, who's asking the questions, we're talking about shipping consoles with 500 gig hard drives when they knew that games were going to take up about 50 gig. It's preposterous. Especially seeing as the Xbox One, the only way to expand the memory on it is to buy a USB hard drive.
But at least they allow you to expand the bloody memory on the thing.
Well,
Christ's sake, Sony. I would go out and buy a 2 terabyte hard drive and expand it next week. But as it is, I've got to break into it.
Why not this week?
No, but I've got. Yeah, I've had my son's birthday. I've got no money, but I've got to break into the bloody thing.
Do you?
I just want to stick it in the USB. You can't on the PS4.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't checked.
No,
I just presumed
I'd be happy.
I just presumed it had got a slot on it. I haven't looked at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think on a personal level, I think I'm yet to see that kind of thing be a problem. Like I have on my PS3 with its 250 odd gigabyte hard drive, I have about 50 odd games on there. It's like I don't even have time to play most of them anyway.
Yeah, that's because you have a child.
I have a child and a job and everything. It's this shit. And I keep getting run into and just
keep knocking people over on buses. What? Eh?
yeah, I don't have time to play video games because of all the trouble I'm causing.
Yeah. Being cool, that's what it is. It's the mandatory installs on retail games that gets me.
Well,
oh man, it's I've got Wolfenstein sitting on my shelf unplayed at the moment because it's a 50 gig bloody file.
yeah.
And I've got to delete something else to fit it on. And obviously I've had stuff come through and I get new stuff come through and I'm like I want to play that. So they're taking up 20 gig, 30 gig, 40 gig and there's no room. And me indie games, I love me indie games, so they take up room. And I get them all because my son wants to play them. We've currently got Peggle going on the TV at the moment. John's just put a thing about how to cheaply upgrade my PS4. I know how to do it. I just don't want to break into my PS4. I'm going to get someone to do it for me because I break things. But yeah, the mandatory installs really get on my nerves. They really do.
Yeah, it literally wouldn't be a problem. Although the reason they probably didn't put a terabyte hard drive and everything, presumably, is because if you say, a 500 gig hard drive costs X, a terabyte costs Y, you times Y by the 10 million consoles that are out there, that's how much more you've got to spend on the consoles, and it cuts into your profit margin. So,
the option.
The mandatory installs are there though for performance and noise reasons, though, aren't they? Because you remember like before you could install anything on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Do you remember those battles?
Oh Jesus!
It sounded like your Xbox 360 was about to take off.
But they were optional. That's the thing. That's the point.
No, sure. But the problem is, I meant like it sounded like it was going to take off when you ran it from the disc. But after you installed it on the hard drive, it was much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than in extreme circumstances, like I know Halo 3 ran better off the disc, but a lot of games just ran better off the hard drive, and it's a performance and noise thing, and I can get on board with that.
But I can. But as the consumer, give me the option. Go to me if I want to stick Wolfenstein on for half an hour because I've got someone mad. I want to show them it. I don't want to then have to go. Hang on 2 seconds. I've got to delete this and delete this, delete this. Right, I should have enough. Just bear with me for 20 minutes while it installs or however long it takes. I want to go, bang it in, come up, go, do you want to install it? if I select no, it goes, okay, then this will have an effect. This may have an adverse effect on your PlayStation 4. Took this drive to this, the performance issues, blah blah blah. If you agree to play this game, you are then saying that any problems that arise are not our fault. Give me that as an option. Warn me, give me it as an option, and let me make the choice.
The thing is, it's part of the OS. I mean, the whole thing about it was the cynic inside of me says that when Microsoft went, you're going to install it onto your hard drive, and then you're not going to be able to sell the disc, and da 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 da. The cynical side to me said that Sony was going to say the exact same thing right up until the point they saw how people reacted to Microsoft's announcement.
Yeah.
So that's why the OS is designed like. I mean, it's a bit conspiracy theory, to be honest with you, but it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. So.
I suppose the only thing we should be happy about is the PlayStation 4 doesn't use a proprietary memory like every other bloody console they've used, like the Vita. Well, that's what everyone. It's just the Vita. The Vita really annoys me.
That's because everybody kept on the PSP. Everybody kept buying the adapters and micro SD cards and not paying Sony for their proprietary Pro Duo sticks. And so what they did was they made a memory stick that wasn't micro SDable, which is in its way genius.
It is, but just they'd sell a shit ton more Vitas if the memory wasn't so ridiculously expensive.
I don't think they would, to be honest.
No,
I'd buy one.
Oh, more devices if the memory was cheaper. There would be a few people who are on the edge, the tipping point of purchasing one, but I don't think the Vita's big problem is its proprietary memory. It doesn't help. Don't get me wrong. I still don't like paying £60 for 64 gig, but
it is the memory cards are ridiculously overpriced. But the Vita's got bigger problems than its memory. It's
called
just
Sony.
Well, yeah. It's just a niche console. It's just niche.
Yeah, they should actually celebrate that fact. It's it's almost how they should market the. It's almost like the anti-marketing type thing that you get companies do. You know, when Skoda were reveling when they had their better cars, were reveling the fact Skoda was crap, and stuff like that. Sony should just go, yeah, it's a machine no one's going to buy, but your gamers will love it. And just go for that whole, the Vita, what a joke type thing.
I do absolutely love the Vita. It's just that, you're, for want of a better description, average gamer has no interest in games that are on the Vita. It's as simple as that. I know, it's beautiful.
Who's that?
What's that carbuncle you've got attached to it?
It's my grip.
Fucking hell.
Apparently you've got fucking plates for hands or something. I know you've got a grip on yours as well, Steve.
Yeah, it's not as big as that.
Hey! No, it just makes it so much easier to hold. It's I want the PDP grips, but I can't afford it.
No. But no, the Vita is a wonderful little console, but I can see why it didn't sell. Especially in the first. I mean, the thing they did in the first instance was try and sell it like an iPad with sticks. That was fucking stupid. So.
Because it's not as big as an iPad for one.
Well, it's like, oh look, it's got you can have 3G fucking sim. What great, awesome. Why?
That was pointless, yeah.
So, but
But I've had the best gaming news this week.
What? Oh, Wii U. Beautiful.
Oh, it's a VTech children's my first laptop.
They are going to find you and they are going to string you up.
It's technically not mine, and I've barely played it yet. It's my son's.
PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Technically, the PlayStation 4's not mine either. That's my son's. Or the PlayStation 3. She keeps reminding me of stuff. I actually own nothing.
You just paid for it, man. It's you got no.
Hang on. It's all my son's.
It's a son that we haven't seen. We only got photos on Facebook to take your word for it.
Yeah, that could be any child that I've been taking photos of.
So you actually just really short and you just going to play ice hockey with kids and beating the fuck out of them?
That'd be my dream.
Well, beating the fuck out of kids, you sick bastard.
Talking of sick bastards, just to go back to Grand Theft Auto, I really didn't mean it, and I felt really, really bad when I looked down at a cat in first-person view, pressed a button, and stomped on it.
What?
I stomped on a cat accidentally and felt really bad.
That's awful.
I didn't mean to do it. I looked down, see if I could. I don't know if there's a crouch button in Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS4. I don't remember there being a crouch button on the original version. But I thought, I want to see if I can go down and actually get a closer look at this cat to see how good the fur
Oh,
is.
so you meleeed the cat. Instead of crouching, you curb stomped the cat.
But I felt awful. And do you know what people have been saying about sort of like the first person makes things a bit more brutal, a bit worse to actually deal with? I genuinely did it and just went, oh my god, I didn't mean to do that.
No.
Did the cat drop
No.
money?
Did it drop any ammo?
No. No.
No, I haven't
Can
done anything like
you
that.
fuck the cat and then kill it and get your money back?
Oh, you're awful. You're an awful human being. Both of you
I-
are. You should feel bad. You're terrible.
I accidentally killed the cat. Johnny wants me to have sex with it and take its money.
I never said I wanted you to. I was just, questioning maybe other things that you might have done with the cat. Bearing in
I
mind,
heard the joy in your voice. I heard the joy in your voice.
No, that's impossible. There is no
you know
joy in his
your
voice ever.
reputation as a merciless cat stomper now.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You've been tarred with the brush of
I start
animal
calling you
killer.
Stumpy.
Yeah.
I was tempted to record it and send the video to Peter and see if I could get them on the news.
Oh no.
Did it come up with a a tooltip like press X to stand on cat?
No, because if it had done that, I could have avoided it.
Press X to pay respects to dead cat.
That'll be in the next Saints Row. That's the sort of thing that's going to be in the next Saints Row, really.
Well, no, it was done years ago in fucking Postal 2 where you could use cats as silencers.
Oh my word.
Yeah, you put your gun inside a cat and you use it as a silencer. Postal 2 was simultaneously absolutely amazing and abhorrently fucking awful. It was a really weird one.
Which ends?
I just I like the concept. Put your gun inside the cat, like it's just a normal thing. You just open the cat up and put the gun in there. Just a normal thing that you do with your average cat.
I know. Do you know? I bought it on Good Old Games and I installed it, and I'm playing it. I'm like, well, that's £3. I'm not getting back.
Did you install it on your cat?
Yeah, sure. That my non-existent cat. Why not?
I was gonna
Cats
say,
seems to be the in thing.
You won't get any noise from the disk drive.
Proper cat silence. Cats really do seem to be the in thing in gaming this year.
Why?
Or go over. Well, you've got. I've got 3 examples. So it doesn't
You're
really help me.
in thing.
Brilliant.
Those hundreds of games that we get released.
Good enough for a shit BuzzFeed article. There were 3 cats in the game. I'm so happy.
That is a proper Kotaku article, isn't it, though? That there's cats with the infinite. Let's name 3 games.
Weird
got-
old cats.
Curb stomping cats in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
You've got Pix the cat, which is brilliant. And you've got the upcoming Eugenics.
Jet.
Yeah,
What?
Mugenics. It's by the Team Meat Lot, isn't it?
Mario the cat costume in 3D World.
And Mario wears a cat in 3D World.
Is that
we
next
saw
year?
this in the-
They're a cat.
I thought that was like-
Eugenics?
Yeah.
That's next year.
No, that doesn't count because that was last year.
Oh well, so it's a tradition now, cats in games. It's not just a fad, it's a tradition. Happened last year as well.
No, I've not. I don't keep up with the indie stuff very much until it comes on PS Plus for free. So.
Isn't Mugenics by the Team Meat? The people
Yes.
in Super Meat Boy. I don't know much about it other than they have said something like there are 3.4 trillion types of cat in there or something like that. Like
How
it's
what?
some strange cat breeding simulator where you just have lots of cats.
That sounds gripping.
See, I'm hoping each of these cats has their own individual personality, so that when I get it and I can pass it on to my girlfriend, she'll never bother me to want to buy her another cat again because she's got trillions of them.
Every
you're trying
cat
to say.
is some degree of stoic.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Trying to say she's a crazy cat lady without any cats.
No, we've got one cat,
Oh right, okay.
He's special.
and he is special. Yes, he is special.
Is he a window licker?
You mean he's stupid?
Special as a TARDIS.
Have you tried it? Is
No,
that
no.
Have you curb stomped your cat?
Oh look, we had an old cat when we lived in Liverpool. We had a cat, and I won't tell you how he got his name because that'll probably get me into a bit of trouble.
Was it shitface?
No, he's called Jimmy after Jimmy Traore, the footballer. But I'll tell you off camera, otherwise it'll be a very I'll just quit now. But he's had his head trodden on by our housemate coming down the stairs carrying a TV. He trod on the cat.
Ooh.
The cat was fine.
Oh, good.
Cat
Oh,
was
good. I
absolutely
thought this was
fine.
going to be a very sad ending. Sorry.
No, a few years later we did die, but it was nothing to do with the head trauma. We don't think it might have been, but he lived a very happy, long enough life
Even
anyway.
though it was probably damaged.
Yeah, possibly. But there was no issues with him, and he ended up dying a few years later. But anyway, lovely cat, loved him. He was a miserable fucker, but there you go.
Cats.
Yeah, he's one of those. He'd get on you and sit on you because he wanted to sit on you, but had the face of, I don't want to be here, you're making me be here. But would have moved.
Yeah. Typical.
Anyway, the one we've got now is a bit special. Every other night he comes back and he's clearly had his face in an exhaust pipe.
What, is he just covered in soot?
Yeah, in a circular fashion around his face.
So you're saying your cat goes out and huffs fumes?
That's what it appears like, yeah.
That's probably that explains why he's a bit special.
See, I'm getting dirty looks, so I'm mocking our cat now.
No, you bastard.
Oh dear, but yeah, no, it's,
Stop,
anyway.
stop aggravating your missus.
Yeah, games, yay.
Yeah, video games.
Okay, so so far we've played Grand Theft Auto and talked 40 minutes of arse.
Again, if
So,
you
Johnny,
not watched the previous shows, Johnny.
No, he didn't, because he didn't even get involved with them because he's an arse. What
Yeah.
have you been playing, Johnny? What is your super busy schedule allowed you to?
Well, I am completely smitten with some budget junk on the PlayStation 3 called Tears to Tiara 2. I got sent this for review and I can't stop playing it, which is utterly ridiculous.
Is that the one with the elephant?
It's the one with the elephant, yeah. It's the one that I've been telling you about. It has an elephant in it. It's a strategy RPG like Fire Emblem, like Shining Force. Apart from you have an elephant, and it is just an elephant. And you can make friends with the elephant, and you can ride the elephant, and then you can make friends with other animals as well.
Because fuck Far Cry 4, you've got an elephant in an SRPG.
Someone did the best Wikipedia vandalism earlier on the Far Cry 4 thing. I don't think it'll be there anymore, but hang on, let me go and dig it out. You talk among...
Well, why are you thinking that out? Is Tales to Tiara 2, is it a Japanese pervert game?
Oh, the old Japanese pervert games.
I don't know, because that has got to be a genre in itself.
It turns out, like, I didn't realise this when I got the second one, but the first one, the original one, was actually an adult game, and it had like a companion series and all sorts of other stuff with it. But no, this one is just a strategy game with an elephant in it.
Okay.
That's
a selling point.
Well, what, that it's not a companion game, or
No, it's got an elephant in it.
Oh, well, yeah. No, I don't understand the whole SRP. I tried Fire Emblem Awakening, and I was doing all right, but I had to play it on noob mode because I couldn't deal with losing people. I couldn't deal with the loss of my team and my people. That you kind of have you played any Fire Emblem?
I've played the one on the Game Boy Advance, and it's really curious because the permanent death really changes how you think about things, and you end up. It's weird because you only get like a set number of each type of class member, so you'll have 2 or 3 priests to get you through the game, and Fire Emblem was notorious for knocking out your priests really early because they're the only healers that you've got.
Yeah.
And so you run out of priests and you're kind of done, so you end up kind of reloading a lot. Just to go back to the Far Cry 4 elephant nonsense. So there was a little section which has now been removed, sadly, but every level explores pagans' Himalayan and Nepalese territories. This was an aspect of the game that Dancaster really wanted to develop, but was restrained owing to the strict time-bound nature of the project. He often abbreviated this aspect as ELEPHANT, which exhibits cohesion with one of the main narratives of the game, where the player rides an elephant and kills people. Which I just thought was utterly wonderful.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so it's Tears to Tiara 2 is a ridiculous name that I don't think I'm ever gonna feel comfortable saying, but it's a strategy RPG like Fire Emblem and so on, and it is bastard hard. It is incredibly difficult, but it doesn't feature permadeath, which it doesn't necessarily set it apart from other kind of games. I think Fire Emblem is the exception to the rule with its permanent death, but it is really punishing. the idea being that your units, despite being unique and having their own, having a personality to each particular unit, they are largely expendable in each individual battle, and the game will ruthlessly just come and pick off any unit that you leave kind of stranded, and battles can go south really, really quickly. But yeah, the main thing is it has an elephant in it. You can make friends with the pig. So
Game of the year.
Honestly, it's absolutely wonderful. I'm smitten with it. It doesn't know when to shut up, which is a bit of a problem. There's a lot of story content in it, and the story is a little bit boring.
That's typical Japanese RPGs fare, though, isn't it?
I don't know. It's a weird thing because it's very visual novel in its storytelling style, which is I've seen a weird kind of rise in visual novel style storytelling recently, where you have no real cutscenes, but just lots of kind of static images of characters and reams of text.
Yeah.
But, I've played some brilliant visual novel-based games, like Virtue's Last Reward was one of my favourite games ever, and the Danganronpa games that came out this year were both pretty good. But the problem is that if the novel is shit, then putting anime characters next to it still doesn't make it anything but shit.
This is it, isn't it? It's like I thought that's why the Phoenix Wright games work quite well. Because the characters are really stand out. Maybe not so much as the series went on, it got a bit thin, but they were, to all intents and purposes, playable novels, but they were very entertaining ones. I want to play. I nearly picked up 9 People, 9 Doors, 9 Hours, whichever way around. Yeah, I nearly picked that up the other day, but the backlog prevented me from doing it because I do want to get around to Virtue's Last Reward, but I can't because I haven't played it. So
I played Virtue's Last Reward first before 9 Hours, 9 Persons.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's a strange one because they are canonical. 9 Hours, like 999, is the first game in the series, and the events do directly lead on to the events in Virtue's Last Reward. But at the same time, quite uniquely, you can still play Virtue's Last Reward first, go back to 999, and despite the fact that you know a lot of the things, you still have a lot of moments that you wouldn't have had you played them in the correct order, but then you would get those moments, a similar type of moment in Virtue's Last Reward instead.
Cool.
So there's a lot of things that you realise that you wouldn't necessarily have realised had you played them the other way around.
Yeah.
But you can, it doesn't ruin the first game for you. You just you have your moments at different places in the game.
Right.
It's very clever.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a go at some point. I keep looking through my download list on my Vita and go, oh, I didn't know I'd got that. And I saw Virtue's Last Reward. And I thought, oh, pick up 999, and then.
Yeah, don't fuck around. Just play it. Just do it. It's brilliant.
Well, I know, but I'm gonna borrow a Danganronpa off you and all. And
Jesus. Yeah, no, don't worry about that. Just play Virtue's Last Reward first.
Right. Okay. Fine.
Do it.
I'm gonna use this idea of stories in games, visual novels, that sort of thing, to segue into my final point unless you guys got anything coming up afterwards.
Oh Jesus.
Also, my game of the year this year.
It's a bit early, isn't it? We've still got like 7 weeks left.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, unless anything major comes out in the last half of the year, this is my game of the year. Never Alone.
Yes, I haven't read the review yet, but I have. It's like it came out of nowhere because it's like I didn't know it was coming out, and then you reviewed it and went, "Holy fucking shit!" And then everybody else has started playing it and gone, "Holy fucking shit!" So it's I'm very, very curious about it. It's out on Xbone now, but PS4's gone back to next week, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm going to be doing my Jim Sterling, Carl Bosman type thing from tomorrow as a regular thing as well, and I'm going to be talking about delays because delays in Europe are really getting at the moment. But anyway, Never Alone. It came out of nowhere. I saw it. It was a trailer somewhere. I got hold of the guys, say congratulations on the game and stuff like that. My usual inroads to try and sort of see if they send us anything. And I went, oh, thank you. We're glad to have it out. Have a copy to review. And I know you guys have got a lot on, so I went, I'm going to take this.
Oh, take one for the team. Very, very magnanimous of you.
Yeah, looks interesting. I thought, I'm going to take this. I'm not even going to offer it out because I've got stuff that I thought that I can wait. It's not important. The idea was I was going to review this. I have a quick play, review it after the weekend, get it up next week. No rush. Stuck it on. It's not a long game. Not a long game at all. Few hours. The gameplay mechanics are simplistic. If it was a pure puzzle platformer, it's not great. But it's passable. It does all the basic things well.
So you're not really selling me on this.
No,
No,
not
no, no,
really.
listen.
It's a bit rubbish, kind of.
It's not that. It's passable. It's not doing anything that really stretches the genre or anything like that. It's just passable. But boy, the story. It's. My review signs off with saying when we decided as a community we wanted mature games, this is what we meant. It basically tells you the story of the
Don't spoil it.
Impuax.
Don't spoil it.
No, it's not spoiling it. The Impuax, who are a race of native Alaskans, because generally we all know the Inuits. The Impuax, if that's pronounced correctly, are the lesser cousins in terms of popularity. They're not really well known. They're the Letitia to Michael. I'm playing up. But it tells you the story of them throughout the game with the narrator, stuff you've seen in Transistor, and it's just a really, really lovely story of friendship. But included with this, they've almost got this mini documentary series that you can watch as the story goes, or go back out to the menu and watch it. And this part of it is really good, and it really gives you great insight into them as a people, them as a race. And there were times where you're playing it and you're not getting upset, you don't feel for the characters like you would in maybe say The Last of Us with Joel, and that scene at the end of your intro of The Last of Us. Doesn't have that emotion to it, but you're sitting there, you can feel yourself starting to go, this is but at the same time, intrigued and just wanting more. You're wanting to get through the story to find out what's going to happen and unlock the next insight. There's like 24 of them, but unlock the next one and watch the next 2-3 minute mini documentary that goes with it and find out more about them. And it's really an experience unlike anything else I've ever played. And it's almost like it shouldn't be a game of the year, because as a game it's not doing anything, but as an experience it blew me away. It's just like I sat there after I finished it and was just like, I'm done for the day with games. I don't know what else I want to play next, because it's got to live with me. It's brilliant.
You see, the art style really interested me because it looks lovely. It looks wonderful. So I might get, if it's only a couple of hours, I might get it downloaded on Bone and give it a go.
Yeah, I don't know how much it is. I should probably looked at that at one point.
I'm gonna say.
If it's a 30 quid game, then I would say maybe not. But I'm assuming you're looking at maybe $11.99 at most.
I think it's $14 on Steam, so it's probably about $11.99.
$11.99, $9.99, something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's worth it. You pay more than that to go and get an average story at the cinema that lasts an hour and a half. This is, I'm probably guessing, a lost time. It's maybe 2 to 4 hours, depending how slow you go.
Yeah.
But it's just perfect. It really is a perfect package for what it is.
Cool.
And so far, that is heading my Game of the Year list.
Well, I'll give it a go, because I'll buy games until I've drowning in them, and I don't have any time ever.
The only problem I do have if I make that my Game of the Year is it means I lied about Velocity.
Yeah, that makes you look like a right prick.
It does. I lied, I'm sorry. Velocity's only number 2.
See, and that's why you should never make really ridiculous claims like, oh, Game of the Year, because, well, it might not be.
But it's going to be interesting, actually, because one of the things I said we want to do at the end is do a round-table discussion on the Game of the Year at the end of the year. What we all think, if we can come up with a joint decision. So it's going to be interesting to see other people's views once they've played it as well, because I'm a sentimental div as well. Is that PC these days? I don't know. But and I've got a reputation. I love games. I'm quite willing to try new experiences. I'm sure your Call of Duty crowd's going to look at it and just go, "Nah, that's not a game." Nah,
of course they're not.
But screw them. They don't like Citizen Kane and stuff like that.
Okay.
Right, and with that, I think we're about done, aren't we?
Yes. Yes. So what's coming up in the next week, Brad?
Oh, well, we've got reviews. Reviews and reviews. We've got Far Cry 4 will be coming. GTA 5. Sunset Overdrive, I think, is scheduled and ready to go. Johnny's hopefully going to have Tears to Tiara 2 at some point.
It's Arcana Heart 3 Love Max, which is coming this week.
Oh,
Jesus.
okay, yeah. And Minutes you've got to do as well, which is a cool little puzzle game. We've got Stealth Inc. 2. We've got new video content, as I'm going to do my Jimquisition type bit. Which is, we got the Digimon video review that will come that I need to re-record because that was awful. I felt like I was like reviewing it by telling the kid to say what he wants to say. So we're going to re-record that, and I'm just going to let him speak for 5 minutes. And what's the last thing I've got? My Jimquisition type thing. I'm at the moment I'm torn on Couch's Corner. But that's not going to make sense to anyone unless they like ice hockey, so I'm still trying to think of a name.
I still think you should go with the suggestion of doing it from your bed and calling it Brad's Pit.
That is tempting. That is tempting, having to just get into bed, but I've got red flowery bedding. It just looks weird. I mean, I've already got... This isn't very manly, is it? You know, my mug.
Look, to be fair, I won't even worry about it because we've just spent the last hour talking about cats and video games. I think any semblance of manliness has been shot to shit already.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh, I've got this. Before we finish, have you guys heard of Loot Crate?
Yes.
We ordered it because my son's into all the tat as well. And I know it's cheesy, but I got this. It's a Street Fighter Ryu headband.
Oh my word!
Look at it. It's brilliant.
It's just his stuff. I know it's.
I like tat.
Yes, so do
help
I.
it. I've got a Mega Man helmet display, which is really cool. I've got a little Halo Lego minifigure. Cool little T-shirt, which is pretty smart, but it's all ridden up. What else did I get in it? It was like a free download of Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition on PC. There you go. I'm not going to argue with that.
Oh, we're a Capcom themed one then.
No, because Halo's not Capcom.
Oh right, no, because the rest of it's Capcom, isn't it? I think they're curated to a degree by certain companies, and then other bits are thrown in. I think so.
Yeah, but I also got an Assassin's Creed Unity coin, which just glitching the buggery out and needs a patch at some point. But no, it's got really heavy coin. It's obviously just like gamer press rubbish and they give out and stuff like that at press events. But that was in there. So it's a really heavy coin. It's just one of those. I could be Two-Face from the Batman and just Harvey Dent and just decide everything on the flip of an Assassin's Creed coin. Great.
Is that where that's come from?
Yeah. Sorry, she's asking if that's where that's come from. But it's not bad actually. Just loads of general tat, but cool tat as well. It's worth it just for the T-shirt and the extra bits alone. It's cool. But I'm going to finish on that. But I've got a Street Fighter headband, and I'm tempted to get a white dressing gown and another thing to wrap around that and go down.
And then the inexorable march towards midlife crisis will be complete.
What, dressing up as Ryu and going to pick my son up from school?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I can't drive, so I can't buy a Ferrari.
So the dressing gown is the next best thing, is it? I'll bear that in mind.
Of course it is. You've got this to look forward to, Johnny. Right, we better sign off there before we bore people to death.
Alright, see you later, guys.
See you later.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.